Welcome to my channel. My name is Kai, and this is where I teach you all financial literacy so that we can achieve financial freedom together. A lot of the things that I teach on my channel are based on my own experiences, so I've gone through the process, I've learned from my mistakes, and I'm able to share everything that I've learned with you all. In today's video, I am going to be walking through how to file an LLC in the state of Florida without using any sort of third-party service. I'm going to explain each step of the process just so that you're aware of what everything means and so that you can do the same for yourself. Let's begin. So the first thing that you want to do is go to Google, and obviously I always start with file for LLC in Florida. And obviously if you're doing this for your specific state, it doesn't necessarily have to be Florida. You'll be able to just type into Google file LLC and then your state. We want to skip any of the advertisements or any of the third-party websites that I mentioned above. And in this case, there aren't many, so I'm just going to go straight to the Department of State, and that's exactly where we'll want to file for this LLC. So I'll go here, and then here we have the instructions of how this works and what it's going to take for us to file the LLC. So we're going to review the instructions and then gather all of the information and then have a complete form of payment. So I'm going to go ahead and click on file or correct. And you're gonna come to this page, and you want to make sure you're on Sunbiz, because once you've registered as a business, this is where your business will show up, and this is where banks and other businesses will be able to verify that you are actually a legitimate LLC. So you want to start new filing, and I'll be sure to add all of these links in the description below. And so here you'll just go through and you'll fill out all of the information. The filing fee is $125. This, if you know, is a lot less than any other third party. You are completing the documentation yourself versus putting in information and allowing it to auto-populate and fill out the application for you. Third-party sites, you're paying for a service fee, so obviously it's going to be a lot more than the $125 that you see here. My personal opinion is that it is super easy to file for your own LLC, so if you have the chance and the opportunity to do so, I would highly recommend doing it yourself if you can. If not, if you feel more comfortable having someone else do it or having a third-party company do it, that is perfectly fine. Just know that you'll be paying a little bit extra to get that filed and completed. So you want to insert your LLC name here, and a great way to figure out whether your LLC name is available is to actually use a third-party site. So I'm going to use LegalZoom because they have a really great tool to help us determine whether or not a name has been taken. So I'm going to go here to LLC, and I am going to form my LLC, but what I'm actually looking for is their naming tool. So choose and reserve a name. So I want to see where that is. Maybe I'll click start my LLC, form my LLC for free. Or you can always just type into Google LLC name finder, LegalZoom, or whatever the case is. So I, for this example, want to just give my LLC a very generic name, and I'm going to call it Products of Nature. All right, let's see if that name is taken in the state of Florida, and it looks as though it is not. So at that point, LegalZoom will tell you whether or not an LLC name is taken. Another great way to search is to go to sunbiz.com and do the search for the state of Florida yourself, and you want to make sure that there are no other LLCs out there that have the name that you're looking to do. So that's loading. I'm going to go back to the application here. So Products of Nature, and then LLC. Okay, so now we have the principal place of business. If you don't already have a business address, I would say just to get started, you can use your personal address. However, if you wanted to not have your public information out there. There's nothing wrong with it because you can always change it. I personally started with a personal address because I didn't have a physical location for my business. So I did use my home address, but there are so many other ways, and I believe I have a video out there on how to establish a business address when you're just getting started if you don't want to use your home address. So once you've put your principal place of business, you then want to use your mailing address, and you can make this the same as your principal place of business, or if you prefer to have your documents mailed to your home, you can put that address here. Or as we get down lower, you'll see that you need to also have a registered agent, and you can either put your registered agent's information in the mailing address as well, or you can use your address as I mentioned. Now we've gotten to the registered agent portion. What is a registered agent? They have a beautiful link here explaining what a registered agent is. Let's see. And it just explains a registered agent is the person that will accept services of process on behalf of a business entity. So an example of what a registered agent would do is every year when it comes time to file your annual report, or when it comes time to file taxes, or if the government, the IRS, or any company is trying to reach you with important documentation, you want to designate a single person. Sometimes people hire companies for this. There are registered agency companies out there. You can have this be your lawyer if you have a lawyer for your business. It can be, someone that you trust to receive these forms of documentation and to essentially represent the business from a more official capacity. Okay, you can also have a business serve as the registered agent. So that's what I mentioned. Sometimes people hire companies, so you can list the name of the company here and then put their address information. The registered agent must sign their signature below. So if you are filing this and you haven't established a registered agent yet, you can always make yourself the registered agent and then change it later on. All of this can be changed, and I will probably make another video on how to do so because there is an official process on how to make changes to your LLC documentation. Any other provisions, so this is where you can insert your purpose, your statement, but it's not required. This is not a business plan, so don't turn it into one. And then here we have our notice of annual reporting. This is just notifying you that as a Florida LLC, you have to file your annual reporting. I am guilty of not doing this several times because I move a lot and I have made myself my own registered agent, and it's kind of hard to get in touch with me. So moving forward, I will be establishing a more local registered agent to notify me when these things are due. I am a little bit behind this year, but again, these things happen, and so once we're aware of it, we can then correct the issues. I just want you all to avoid paying this late fee of $400. This is something that is required by the state so that they are aware of the activity of your business and that you are still wanting to remain active. It's just the cost of doing business. I am not really sure where the money goes, but here it is. So just remember that each year you'll be required to file an annual report, and the cost is $138 with that late fee of $400 if you miss the payment or if you file after May 1st. Alrighty, so next we've come to the correspondence name and email address. This will be your information or the information of those members of your business that are filing for the LLC. You can then, so this is different from the registered agent because this person or this correspondence will be directly related to the process of filing the LLC, not necessarily once the LLC has been filed. This is just so that if anything goes wrong with the actual filing process, they know who to contact to get the correct information that they need. So you'll enter your correspondence name and email here. And then below is where we get to the part where you identify all of the members of the LLC. So if you have multiple members, or if it's just you, that's fine. You will be able to enter their information, enter the name that they serve in the company. So there is a member, there's a manager, and other designated titles such as founder, CEO, etc. You can either put your business address here or you can put their personal address. Again, I recommend until you have established a place of business, use your personal address, but if you don't feel comfortable with that, there are so many ways that you can hire a company or you can get a virtual online address specifically for your business. This part is important when you are going to get any sort of business credit or check or opening a bank account, because banks require that all members are present, all members that own over, I want to say, a certain percentage. I can't remember off the top of my head, but any member that you put on these LLC documentation, the bank, especially in Florida, is going to pull this information up on Sunbiz once it's live and ask for each member to be present in order to open up a bank account. All right, so you have a few options here to add as many members to the LLC as you'd like. If you, once you've done so, once you've filled all of this out, you can then go and make sure you correct everything, and I'm going to fill this out so that I can follow along with you guys. So I have filled out all of my information. I used some very generic information, so I'm going to continue, and it's going to give you any error messages that you might have to go back and fill out. So it looks like I have to fill out the name and address for my member, which I did not do. And these abbreviations here, so this is manager, this is a member, and I'm not sure what AP stands for, but I've never had to use that. So if you want to know what it means, you can always look it up. So now let's see if we receive any errors. Nope. So once you've filled out all of your information, you'll come here to this screen here, and you'll be able to correct any information that might be incorrect. You can review this very carefully. Again, if there are any mistakes, you can always come back and make changes to this in the future. There is sort of a filing and documentation process. So you just want to make sure that you get it right from the beginning. The only changes that you should anticipate making in the future are to add or remove members, or to update the type of LLC that you're operating, or to change any addresses associated with the LLC. All right, so you'll pay for the LLC, and once you've done that, you'll receive a letter from the Division of Corporations with your actual documentation or your Articles of Organization number. Very similar to what LegalZoom would do. They'll send you a document number, and with that number, you'll be able to file for your EIN number online for free. You don't have to pay for this service. If you've already paid for it in the past, now you know moving forward you can file it for free. It's super, super easy. I have a video that I've already done on that process. So if you are in the state of Florida, this is how you file for your LLC online for $125, as you've seen. So let me know if you have any questions below. I did only go through the application, but there's so much more I can talk about when it comes to formatting LLCs. Just let me know what your questions are, and I'll be sure to answer that. So thank you.